I am perfect. You therefore too should be, what's the word? Perfect. Perfect doesn't mean spotless. It means mature. It means complete. So you grow up and you've got all these feelings of hurt and anger and disillusionment. You can't figure out which way is up. And the next thing you know, you carry those same things into the next relationship. You carry them even into your own home. The weird part is, these types of relationships, these are my parents, they should love me unconditionally, and because I can't trust them because I'm afraid they're going to hurt me, sometimes those people have great difficulty in accepting Christ. Why? Because God does love us unconditionally. It doesn't matter what we've done. Good or bad, God still loves you. And so you can see how, if I don't understand my value, if I don't understand my worth, that could even affect us spiritually. So this principle doesn't work just with relationships in marriage or friendship. It actually would apply even to our relationship with God. This right here, it's in the book, for those of you that have the book. These are your needs. If your needs are met, this is the pattern of how it goes. You go, your needs are met, you have healthy thinking, positive feelings, healthy behaviors, and there are positive outcomes. But from the same spot, if your needs aren't met, then it goes to unhealthy thinking, unhealed emotions, unproductive behaviors, and ultimately painful outcomes. We all start at the same spot. But the question is, where do we go from there? Now the cool part is, you might be down here, but you can get up here today. You can be up here. And we talked about this last week, one huge withdrawal from your love bank, and you can be down here quickly. But you can get into the red today, if you'd like. But to do that, you've got to pay the price. You and I have learned from somebody, I hope, we've learned time management. You all did very well this morning, by the way, with your time. That's why I like my cell phone updates automatically when it wakes me up. But we've learned how to manage our money, those kind of things. But very few of us have learned or seen modeled how to manage our emotions and our feelings. Okay? Now, there are feelings like anger and guilt. They're no fun, but they really are part of God's plan. That they're real. Have you ever been angry? Yeah? You ever been guilty? Yeah? Okay? But what we have to do is we've got to figure out how to process those emotions, not allow them to hang inside of us. Because if the guilt needs to be emptied and anger needs to be dealt with, and if we don't, it turns into resentment. But if anger stays inside our hearts for very long, it becomes bitterness. Now, I've been angry about lots of things in my life, and what I've learned is if I'm mad at somebody and I'm angry at somebody and I'm still hacked off at them years later, I'm renting them space for free. And the only person that's upset is me, because they don't care. And that anger can turn to bitterness, and that bitterness will eat your life. It actually can affect your health. Not just your mental health, it can affect your physical health as well. One way for us to understand the hurts that we have that are unhealed is to understand that you and I have a certain limit to how much we can handle. We have an emotional cup, if you will. Okay? And when you and I have these unresolved hurts and anger and the resentment and all these things, we have less room in our mind to be able to process all the other things that are going on. Because there's just not space. Okay, this is the cup. Alright? And I brought with me today 3 of my friends. Those of you that are familiar with Prince's House, these are model 1710. You can get them by calling 800-77. Okay, this is the little, we're going to play the shell game. I always lose at this game. I can't figure out why. Glasses are clear. I need a volunteer. None of you, because I like you. I like you a lot. Why don't you? You're an adult. You can come help me with this. This is really important. Now, I have been practicing this all year. All year. Now, what I need you to do, Joel, if you'll come on this side, so everybody can see. We have an emotional cup. And the cup is full, basically. Let's say 95% full. Now, looks like a regular cup, right? I dropped it in break. Could you hold that up there for me? Because this is Tom, and this is Sherry. And when we got married, the two become one, correct? The Bible say? So my life has its baggage, and her life has her baggage, right? So when the two become one, oh man. I make a mess, don't I? I'm sorry. If I had a good assistant. You know what's really weird? I've been practicing it all year and it hadn't worked once. Do you know why? It's not magic. Let me explain. You were off. You didn't want to bring it to me that I'm really a bad magician. You can be seated. Thank you. Unless you want to saw somebody bad. Yeah, let's try this one. Here's the problem. The problem is that your cup is full. And their cup is full. And when the two try to become one, there's not enough space. So what you have to do is deal with the stuff that's in the cup. And I realize it's a really stupid magic trick. But it's because it's not magic. And marriage ain't magic. And making it work ain't magic. And if we could throw pixie dust over all of you and make it work, we would. But we can't. Because it's not magic. What it is, if you're not careful, is it's a mess. If you don't know how to deal with the stuff that's in the cup. Relationships are not 50-50. Relationships are 100-100. Sometimes in my house, it's 120 and 80 because one person is struggling. Sometimes it's 100-100. But I can't think of going through life where I'm only giving half of myself or half of my effort to my marriage. Your marriage won't last. It'll look like that. It'll be a mess. It's 100-100 commitment. And it demands everything you've got and the very best that you've got. See, you and I, remember the skit where we had the people with the baggage and they came down? You thought this other person will fill me up? Woohoo! No, their cup's full too. So what you got to do is you got to make room for stuff that's in the cup. You got to get rid of some of that stuff. I meet people all the time and say, you know what, I just feel like I'm married, I don't feel nothing. It's not fun anymore, we don't laugh together anymore, we're not romantic together anymore. She doesn't make my heart flutter, he doesn't make my heart sing. It's because your cup's too full. You don't have any more room for feelings of love or romance because there's resentment in there, and you can't feel both at the same time. I can't dislike you and want to be intimate with you at the same time. That sounds kind of goofy. In fact, it's impossible. It's not possible. And so this is what I've seen, is people, we've got so many of these negative emotions inside of our hearts, and we don't know what to do with them. So what do? We go to the next relationship, we go to the next church, we go to the next job, but the problem is you take the cup with you. That's why you and I know people that you can point at and say, so-and-so's jump job to job to job to job, church to church to church to church, can never seem to get along with people. Well, it's because they got the same cup going with them everywhere they go. The same baggage. The same mess. And so when they take their cup and pour it into the next group's cup, they make a mess. And then they go to the next one, they pour it in there, and they make a mess. And it's because there's too much in the cup. And God wants us today to be free from some of that stuff. See, at the bottom of your cup, there's a wound. I don't know what it is. Every one of us, at the bottom of the cup, there's a wound. Be glad that I did the water today, because what I was going to do was a bow and arrow. Because what happened is, when we were boys and girls, little kids growing up, maybe it was in high school, maybe it was in college, somebody took the bow and arrow and stuck us in the heart with a wound. And on that arrow was attached a note. And that note said, you'll never measure up. You're a loser. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're poor. You're whatever. Every one of us in here has been pierced by some kind of wound. And if you deny that, then you're just not paying attention. Everybody here, dead through the heart. So your heart dies. You've got two choices. You can pull the arrow out and deal with the wound, or you can bleed to death. What's your wound? Because now I'm hurt, so what happens? It turns to anger. Now I'm mad at the person who hurt me. Because it's easier for me to be angry than it is for me to dwell on my hurt. So I'm going to turn it on them now. Now I'm mad at so-and-so who hurt me. Didn't mean to hurt me maybe even. But I'm going to be mad at them. I'm going to be angry at them. Because I don't want to face the fact that I truly am hurt. So now it's Uncle Bob's fault, or it's Priest so-and-so's fault, or Coach John's fault, or whatever. Because I don't want to face the fact that I'm hurt.